Okay, Rotten Tomatoes has this at 10%, which is ridiculous. There's no way this is 10%. I mean, it's not a masterpiece. I think I probably agree with the audience, actually closer to 60%, but 10% is ridiculous. This movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, has everything. It's got Winnie the Pooh, it's got blood and honey. 10% is ridiculous for this movie. I can't even look at this anymore. We're gonna go over to IMDb after that. Okay, so Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey starts out with the tale that everybody knows. You got Christopher Robin, and he's playing with his toys in the Hundred Acre Woods. Now, eventually, Christopher Robin grows up, and he heads off to live a life with the other adults. When he does, he leaves the animals to themselves, and it doesn't go well for the animals. They have to learn to adapt in the woods by themselves. So eventually, after Christopher Robin has grown up, he takes his wife or fiance or whatever out to see his old friends. But again, they're kind of rabid. They've survived in the woods for quite a while, so they're not the friendly little animals that he used to know. They're not his friends anymore. So he takes his wife out to the Hundred Acre Woods, and it doesn't end well. So after Christopher Robin and his wife show up, it kind of turns into just a standard slasher movie. By the way, this is a image that Winnie the Pooh has when he's grown up of Christopher Robin. He's thinking back on like when he was a little boy and they were a happy little family. But it jumps ahead 5 years after he shows up in the woods, and during that time you see these newspaper clippings, you see these news articles, these news stories of all these murders that are taking place in the Hundred Acre Woods, and all of this suspicious stuff that's going on. So once we get past all that, we see that there's a group of girls that are vacationing in the woods, like college age girls, and they're going off to this I don't know, Airbnb in the woods. And then they take when they get to the Airbnb, they take all their phones and they say like no distractions for the weekend, so we're going to get rid of our phones. So there's no way to contact anybody in case I don't know a homicidal bear shows up to kill people. But that's the setup for it. And again, it's just kind of a slasher movie after that first little beginning part. So for the things I like, one of them was the creative deaths actually in this. One of my favorite things about Friday the 13th is the creative ways that Jason would kill people. Like there was this one in Jason X where he would where he like took this lady's head and stuck it in like frozen nitrogen or liquid, whatever the stuff that makes fog is, and her head like freezes, and he like slams it on the counter and just crushes her head. There was another one in I think Jason or Friday the 13th 3 where he killed somebody with like a harpoon gun, just like kind of just random ways to kill people. And this movie has some pretty creative ways of killing these girls. Another good point was Piglet. First, I mean, he's all grown up now, so he's not a piglet anymore. He also, you can't really see it in these pictures here, but he's got these big tusks. I think they're called tusks. I don't know, like a razorback has, or just a big wild hog. So he's no longer a piglet. But I liked the mask and the horns or tusks or whatever. They looked believable on Piglet, and this is the girl that he has tied up in that particular scene. Another thing that I like about the movie is it's 80 minutes long. I mean, I went into the theater. I got sat down, and by the time I finished like my nachos, the movie was over. So that's another good thing. You're not investing much time in it. Again, I think it was like 80 minutes. All right, now we'll go to the bad. And the biggest sticking point for me was the mask for Winnie the Pooh. You can see here, well, here it's not too bad, but the eyes are really distracting for me. But it's not the mask, it's the entire mask is fine except for the eyes. Like there's little parts in here where it will smile, and he like when he eats honey at one point, and it actually does like the chewing part. So there's like some mechanical stuff in here where that'll move and smile, and things like that. And then there's a little bit where he talks and it moves a little bit. But the eyes are, I mean, it's clearly, let me see if I can find, yeah, like here, it's clearly just a dude in a bear costume. And you don't see it very often because it's a horror movie, so it's mainly in the dark. But okay, like right there, you can see. I mean, it's clearly a dude in a bear mask. But like there, it's not so bad. And there, it's pretty bad. I mean, you can tell it's just a dude in a bear mask. So what I think they should do is do some CGI and add in the beady little eyes like he has, like right here. These little eyes that a teddy bear would have, or a toy bear, a stuffed bear, whatever. I think that would make it. First of all, you wouldn't see that it's clearly just a guy in a bear mask. You could cover that up with the CGI, just the little dark eyes, dark shiny eyes. So that would, number one, cover that up, and number two, it would also kind of remind people that this was at one point it was somebody's pet bear who's kind of gone on this killing spree. He's been left alone, but at one point he was just this. I don't remember how it went, like a fuzzy wuzzy bear, fuzzy little cuddly bear, whatever it was. At one point he was that. So I think the CGI eyes would have gone a long way into, again, not only covering up that it was clearly an actor behind the mask, but it would also kind of relate to the childhood Winnie the Pooh. Another thing that would fall into the bad category for me are the hands. They're clearly, and actually you can kind of see them in this image right here, they're clearly just yellow gloves. It doesn't look like a paw. It doesn't look like anything other than like a human's gloves that are yellow. I think they could have done more dressing this up here, maybe some more hair, maybe, I don't know, less fingers, or just if they were even mittens, that might have worked better. But it doesn't look like the hands of a formerly fluffy teddy bear. And they didn't have the same issue with Piglet. I think the eyes on the mask were quite a bit smaller, so you didn't see the human eyes inside of that. Also, he wore gloves, so you didn't see the, I guess they would be hoofs for a piglet. But anyway, yeah, and they used CGI on other stuff like blood, and there's this one scene where this girl gets ran over by a car, and they use CGI to show her like getting smushed, and the CGI is terrible in it, but they did use it, and I feel like if they would have used it on the eyes here, it would have gone quite a ways. Even in the poster, you can really kind of see that there's a human behind here. And they didn't show any of the other animals in the 100 Acre Woods. I mean, they talk about them at the very beginning. They talk about some of them. I got to get off this 10%. It's still pissing me off. Hold on a second here. Okay. So yeah, they talk about them at the beginning, but the only ones we ever see are Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. And I think if we're being honest, if any of the animals from the 100 Acre Woods were going to become serial killers, it would probably be Eeyore. I mean, this guy has some major depression issues. I could see him just going off pretty easily, definitely more so than Winnie or Piglet. And if it's not him, it's gonna be Tigger. He is way too happy. I could see, somebody cuts him off in traffic, or a girl breaks up with him, and if he goes off a deep end, it would be a bloodbath for everybody. So either one of those two are more likely than Winnie or Piglet to be serial killers. So it's a good time. I had a good time watching it. I enjoyed it. Definitely better than 10%. That's ridiculous. I give it a 3 out of 5. I mean, it's good. It's fine. If it comes on a streaming service, I would definitely check it out. I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend going to theaters, to be honest with you. But again, it was only like 80 minutes, so you're not investing a huge chunk of your day. It's not like a 3-hour movie or something like that. Also, not a children's movie. It's pretty much, outside of the first 10 minutes, it's pretty much just a straight slasher movie, just a classic slasher film. But it's a slasher film based on a beloved children's character, and I think I think it's just a fun movie to check out.